Today we are discussing cognitive therapy from the NCERT book of psychology, 12th class book of psychology. So, cognitive behavior therapy says that every problem, yani every psychological problem, is because of your belief system, how you think. And if your thoughts are irrational, right, then there is a problem. And if we correct that belief system and irrational thoughts or automatic thoughts, also we say when we talk about CBT, then the problem will be resolved, right? So, understand one thing with an example, right? Suppose you are preparing for your exam and you decided कि until unless my 100% preparation will not be over, I will not give exam, right? तो क्या होगा? 100% प्रिपरेशन तो कभी होगी नहीं, ना किसी की होती है, ठीक है, किसी की ज़्यादा कम हो सकती है, बट यू कैन नॉट से कि 100% ईच एंड एवरीथिंग यू नो फ्रॉम योर syllabus. And suppose you know also there are chances sometime there are some out of the syllabus questions also. So this happens, right? So if you think like that, so there are high possibility, because 100% preparation will not be done, then you will not give the exam. So what is happening? This is your negative thought, or you can say irrational thought, जो आपको एग्जाम देने से रोक रहा है, आगे बढ़ने से रोक रहा है, और ये आपको डिसफंक्शनल बना रहा है, इरेशनल बना रहा है. तो अगर हम इस थॉट में चेंज कर लें किसी भी तरीके से, तो क्या होगा? हमारे बिहेवियर में भी चेंज आ जाएगा, और हमारे बिहेवियर में चेंज आएगा तो हमारे इमोशंस में भी चेंज आएगा, क्योंकि आपके थॉट्स, आपके इमोशंस, आपका बिहेवियर एक सिंक में होते हैं. अगर आप सैड फील कर रहे हैं तो क्या होगा? आपके जो थॉट्स होंगे वो भी नेगेटिव, सैडनेस से रिलेटेड थॉट्स होंगे कि मेरी लाइफ कितनी ख़राब है, कितना ख़राब हो रहा है, कुछ भी अच्छा नहीं हो रहा है, मेरी एग्ज़ाम की तैयारी नहीं है, दैट काइंड ऑफ थिंग. और उसी तरह का आपका बिहेवियर होगा. बिहेवियर क्या होगा कि या तो आप ओवर प्रिपरेशन करना शुरू कर दोगे, या आप सब कुछ छोड़ के बैठ जाओगे. दो चीज़ें हो सकती हैं. सो दैट इज़ व्हाट यू कैन से इज ए कॉग्निटिव थेरेपी. अब इन कॉग्निटिव थेरेपी में आपके सिलेबस में दो थेरेपीज दी हैं. एक है रेशनल इमोटिव थेरेपी, और एक को हम बोलते हैं कॉग्निटिव बिहेवियर थेरेपी. दोनों बहुत सारे मामले में एक जैसी हैं, लेकिन दोनों में थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस भी है. तो डिफरेंस की बात हम बाद में करेंगे. अभी हम बात करते हैं कि रेशनल इमोटिव थेरेपी होती क्या है. तो रेशनल इमोटिव थेरेपी, जैसे देख रहे हैं, रेशनल का मतलब आप जानते हैं कि जो लॉजिक वाली बात हो. इमोटिव मीन्स आपका हो गया जो आपके इमोशंस हैं. एंड द थेरेपी, यू नो, लाइक हाउ वी हेल्प अदर्स, और साइकोलॉजिस्ट हेल्प अदर्स थ्रू communication actually, so that they can understand themselves in a better manner. So we also call it REBT, rational emotive behavior therapy. As I said, cognition, behavior and emotions are interrelated. तो central theme of rational emotive therapy is that irrational belief mediate between the antecedent event and their consequences. अब जो एग्जाम्पल हमने लिया था, तो एंटीसीडेंट इवेंट क्या है? एग्जाम की डेट आना. मीडिएटेड बाय इरेशनल बिलीफ क्या है? ये 100% तैयारी होगी। क्लाइंट हमारे पास आता है, whoever comes to us with some problem, so we try to find out ABC. ABC is antecedent, belief and consequences. जैसे हम लास्ट वाले एग्जाम्पल में अगर हम लेते हैं तो एंटीसीडेंट क्या था? आपका एग्जाम आना। बिलीफ सिस्टम क्या था? कि मुझे 100% रिजल्ट देना है, 100% तैयारी करनी है। और मे बी उसके पीछे कुछ आपका एक सिस्टम हो सकता है सोचने का कि अगर मैं 100% तैयारी नहीं होगी तो मैं फेल हो जाऊंगी या अच्छे मार्क्स नहीं आएंगे, वॉट एवर इट इज। एंड द कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज इज you feel irritable and sad and maybe you are not giving your exam, right? So we do that analysis. So अगर हम देखें इसमें अगर हम बात करते हैं तो क्या हुआ? ये आपका है एंटीसीडेंट इवेंट। सो क्या है ये? विच कॉज द साइकोलॉजिकल डिस्ट्रेस or noted, and the client is also interviewed to find the irrational belief. मैंने आपको समझाया what is irrational belief, which are the distorting the present reality. रियलिटी क्या है? कि भाई ठीक है, you can give your 100%, but it doesn't mean कि 100% each and everything you will get to know. Maybe there is a out of syllabus questions also sometimes. So irrational belief may not be supported by empirical evidence in the environment. अच्छा, other thing that is very important regarding the irrational belief कि there is no fact related to that. एक और एग्जांपल आपको देता हूँ। Like sometime we think that we will not get that job. Suppose someone is there who thinks that he will not get job. But when you ask why you will not get the job, you are educated, you are trained, but you will not get. Why will you not get the job? Give the evidences. But they don't have that evidences, facts. They will say, I feel like that I will not get job. So that is not a fact. So there is no empirical. Empirical means जो research based या evidence based, or you can say facts. So that is not there in irrational belief. अगर facts होते तो वो rational belief होता ना. That is why we call it irrational belief. The beliefs are characterized by thought, must and should. That is, things must and should be in particular manner. Must and shoulds ये जहां पे होता है, आप sentences सुनेंगे तो that indicates somewhere irrational thoughts. Like I must prepare for my exam with 100% accuracy. I must come first in my class. You should not do this. Why certain person shouldn't do things like that? So these are, you can say, these can be your irrational thoughts, because we are putting some conditions. So example of irrational belief: one should be loved by everybody all the time. Suppose you are in your home, so your parents sometimes they may scold you, sometimes they may love you, but overall they love you actually. But whenever they love you, it is good. Whenever they scold you for something, you say that they should not scold me. So no, because everyone has their own mood. Sometimes maybe your mom is not that good in your mood. They are not, because of something or other, and they are saying something to you, and you feel they should not do it because they are also human being. So it is not always like that. And one more example: suppose there are a number of people in your class, 30-40 people are there, and there are 4-5 people who are very good with you, they are very good friends with you, but there is only one person who doesn't like you, right? But what will happen? You will not focus on these 5 friends, you will focus on that person who is like who is not very good with you, or he or she is saying something. So that is irrational thought, because somewhere in your mind you are thinking that everyone should like me. It is not possible, right? So that is irrational belief. Then it says human misery is caused by external events over which one does not have any control. So why we feel miserable? Because we want to control everything. But you cannot control everything in your class, in your life, in your family. So when you feel, I cannot control, you feel, and you don't accept it, and then you feel misery. You become miserable. So this distorted, and that is again a distorted thought. This distorted perception of the antecedent event due to the irrational belief leads to the consequence. And when something happens like antecedent behavior, I have already given an example to you, that leads to consequence. Consequence, you feel bad, you cry, you feel irritable, so that happens. So that is negative emotions and behaviors, and you may fight with others. Okay, why certain person is doing this, why they are not doing that thing or this thing, why they are behaving in a different manner. So irrational beliefs are assessed through the questionnaires and interviews. And how we understand, when we speak to our client or person, we try to understand through interview, and sometimes there are some questionnaires, so that we ask. In the process of RET, the irrational beliefs are refused by the therapist through process of non-directive questioning. So, what as a psychologist we do, as a counselor, we ask evidences. Is there any evidence what you are thinking? There may be other things also, other point of views also to these things, because it is similar in earlier case. If I say that there is similar thing, you don't like everyone, so why everyone should like you? So there is be rational. So that is what, and indirectly non-directive questioning ke through we work on our client. The nature of the questioning is gentle without probing or being directive. So it is not very direct, it is not probing directly, it is very gentle, and we go with the flow of your client. Reason being, you are not a police officer like you see in your movies, Bollywood movies. I know. So that you don't do. So it is kind of like you work with your client. You speak to them, you try to find out gently, properly. So that is what we do in irration. So that is the difference between like police inspector and you. It is not like where you were like yesterday, all those things, just like a police officer, you don't ask. You give time and space to your client. The question makes the client to think deeper into her or his assumptions about the life and problems. So we show different point of view so that they can understand what is happening to them. So gradually your client is able to change the irrational belief by making the changes in her philosophy about life. So gradually they will learn, no, everybody won't like you, just like you don't like everyone, or there is no way you can prepare for like 100% ready for the examination. That kind of thinking they develop, more rational thinking they develop. The rational belief system replaces the irrational system, and there is a reduction in the psychological distress. And when you accept, understand, and change your irrational behaviors belief system with rational belief system, your problem goes away, or the severity of the problem goes down. So that is what rational behavior therapy, right? So another type of cognitive therapy is, that is like CBT, and it is given by Aaron T. Beck. So he developed this cognitive therapy, yani ki CBT, for depressive पेशेंट्स जिनको डिप्रेशन हो जाता है. तो अनदर थेरेपी इज दैट ऑफ एरॉन बेड. His theory of psychological distress characterized by the anxiety or depression. So basically they created the therapy for anxiety and depression. It states that childhood experiences provided by the family, society develop core schemas or systems. We core schemas, like we call them core belief also, which include beliefs and actions pattern in the individual. Thus, client who was neglected by the parents as a child develops the core schema, I am not wanted. Like, take another example. Uh, like your parent always compare you to your sibling or someone else. He, you are not able to do anything, you are defer, you will not get good marks, you are not good for nothing, that kind of thing. And you are listening this thing from your childhood, right? So what will happen? You can, just like in this example, I am not wanted, you can learn I am incompetent, I am not able to do anything. So gradually, when you listen these things from your childhood, जब आप बड़े होते हैं, you internalize that thing and you start believing that thing. That becomes your core schema, core belief system, that you are incompetent or you are not wanted, that kind of, depending on the childhood experiences, right? So this is how these schemas like develop, right? Then during the course of life, a critical incident occurs. Just like here, antecedent, it is a critical incident, like something happens. Like, suppose you have applied for some examination and by fault you have not filled correct information, or by mistake you have filled some other information which was wrong. Right, that may happen with anyone. So as soon as you will get to know that you have filled form wrongly, you will start feeling sad. You start thinking, that is automatic thought, start thinking that you are not good for nothing, you cannot do anything, you are incompetent. So that start coming to your mind. We call it automatic or dysfunctional thought. And though during the course of life a critical incident occurs in his or her life, he or she is publicly ridiculed by the teacher in the school. This critical incident triggered the core schema, I am not wanted, leading to the development of negative automatic thoughts. So suppose in that example, in first example that is given in your book, like your teacher says something or you have not done something and the teacher is scolding you, so you again started thinking, this was a trigger, and you started thinking like that, yeah, I am not wanted, nobody loves me, that kind of automatic thoughts, negative thoughts, they start coming to your mind. They are very automatic, they comes instantly, even you are not aware about it. So negative thoughts are persistent irrational thoughts such as nobody loves me, I am ugly, I am stupid, because you have core belief, I am not wanted. Based on those things, you say you have some automatic thoughts like nobody loves me, I am ugly, I am stupid, I am good for nothing, that kind of thing. So I will not succeed, etc. So such negative automatic thoughts are characterized by the cognitive distortions. Irrational beliefs जैसे होते हैं, similarly cognitive distortions. So cognitive distortions are the ways of thinking which are general in nature but which distort the reality in the negative manner. So that distort your reality. Teacher has scolded you because you have not completed your work. Even if there was someone else, they may have also like provoked this the same response from the teacher, but you are interpreting in a different light. Your belief system is playing a role. That is why we call it cognitive. This pattern of the thought are called dysfunctional cognitive structure. So we call it dysfunctional cognitive structure or dysfunctional thoughts in a simple manner, right? They lead to error of the cognition about the social reality, and you distort your reality. Suppose another example, very simple example, you may have faced this kind of thing. Suppose you are in a school, in your campus, and there is some other friends of like you, and that person is coming from the corridor and he was busy in something and or thinking something, and he or she doesn't see you, and then you started thinking he ignored me or she ignored me because she doesn't like me. So that is a automatic thinking. There are chances that you don't like each other. There is definitely that may be the case, but the other way around is the person is not able to see you. Right? The person hasn't seen you, so he or she has not responded, but you are interpreting in a different manner. So evaluating the situation in a factful manner, empirical manner, help us. So repeated occurrence of these thought leads to the development of feeling of anxiety and depression. This will happen, as I said, there is a link between cognition and your thought, behavior, and emotions. So usually psychologists explain it like this. This is a triangle. This is your thought. Let me use pencil. So this is a triangle. This is your thought, right? Or you can say cognition. They are the same thing. And then it is emotions, or you can say feelings, right? And this is a behavior. You can say act, है ना? तो जैसे thought वैसे emotions. If you feel that if you think that you are not good for anything, you are incompetent, you feel sad. When you will sad, you also think that you are not good for nothing, you will avoid doing things. You will isolate yourself. So these three things are related. One leads to other. If we change one thing, other thing will also be changed. So similarly, now we are focusing on thought only, changing the thought. If we will change the thought, emotions and the behavior will change, right? So this is example. Okay, so the therapist uses questioning. Again, we question, which in a gentle, non-threatening disputation of the client's belief and thought. So we try to find out the evidences, we talk to them, we discuss different things. As in REBT, that is what we are doing. We do the same thing here. The example of such questions would be, why should everyone love you? As I asked you, right? There is, because you don't like everyone. So similarly, people have their own choices. So why does it mean to you to succeed? Suppose if there are few people who are liking you, there are other people they don't like you, it doesn't mean you are not successful in your relationship. That happens to everyone. The questions make the client think in a direct opposite to that of negative automatic thoughts, whereby he gains insight into the nature. So we say, think other ways. What are the other ways? Maybe your friend ignored you. It is not true. May not be true. It may be true that he or she was involved in his or her own thoughts, or he was busy with someone. That is why he or she was not able to see you. So that we challenge those dysfunctional thoughts, we try to change it so that behavior and emotions can be changed, and is able to alter the cognitive structures. The aim of the therapy is to achieve this cognitive restructuring, because there is some kind of negative cognitive structure, so we restructure in a positive manner. and reduces the anxiety and depression. And this reduces that, if you think, if you accept that no, there is a no need that everyone should love you, like you, and you accept it, it's just like me. Like if I don't like everyone, similarly people, all the people will not like me. So that kind of thing, if you accept it, your anxiety and depression will reduce. So similar to the behavior therapy, cognitive therapy is focusing on solving a specific problem of the client. So we focus on a specific problems. Unlike psychodynamic therapy, behavior therapy is open. Open, that is, therapist share his or her method with the client in short, lasting between 10 to 20 sessions. So in behavior therapy, we focus on a lot of technique like reinforcement, conditioning and all. And in cognitive therapy, you can say, we focus on solving the client's problem, changing the irrational beliefs or automatic thoughts, and it is more directive. In psychoanalysis and all psychodynamic therapy, we are not that much directive. It is like teaching your client. So you can say we teach our client how to rectify their thinking, how to feel, how to change. That kind of training we give to our client, right? The cognitive behavior therapy, again, there is some information also there. The most popular therapy presently in cognitive behavior therapy, because it is evidence based, research based, which is most widely used. Though it was developed for depression, but nowadays this therapy is used for lot many other disorder, anxiety, schizophrenia, drug addiction, stress management, and many things like that. Research into the outcome and the effectiveness of the psychiatry has conclusively established CBT to the sought effect and efficacious treatment for the wide range of psychological disorders such as anxiety. As I said, there is a like lot of research that shows that it is very effective in many cases, and then depression and panic attacks, borderline personality disorder, etc. So lot other disorders. CBT adopts a biosocial approach to the delineation of the psychopathology. It combines cognitive therapy with the behavioral techniques. So कॉग्निटिव थेरेपी को कॉग्निटिव बिहेवियर थेरेपी हम इसलिए बोलने लगे, अभी तक हम कॉग्निटिव थेरेपी की बात कर रहे थे, क्योंकि ये बिलीव करता है इट इज ए बायो साइको सोशल प्रॉब्लम. बायोलॉजिकल प्रॉब्लम मीन्स देयर इज समथिंग, सम चेंजेस इन द फिजियोलॉजी एंड जेनेटिक्स, एंड देयर इज some psychological issues like belief system and all, and because of that there is some social problems also, because you are not able to, the person is not able to maintain the relationships, they are not able to function properly, so it is a social problem also. So they combine behavioral techniques also like reinforcement, punishment that we have studied earlier. So that techniques along with cognitive techniques like restructuring the thoughts used used by cognitive behavior therapy. That is why initially we were calling it like cognitive therapy, after that we started calling it behavior therapy. Similarly with RET also, or rational emotive therapy, and when we include behavior techniques also with that, we call it REBT, rational emotive behavior therapy, because we use behavior techniques also. The rationale is that client's distress has its origin in the biological, psychological and social realms, as I discussed, hence addressing the biological aspects through relaxation procedures. Suppose there is a lot of anxiety, you can give some relaxation exercise like meditation. I am not going into the detail of that, but for example like giving exercises like meditation, yoga, all. And the psychological one through behavior therapy like behavior therapy and cognitive therapy already we have discussed, and social ones with environmental manipulation make CBT a comprehensive technique. So environmental manipulation means, suppose like there are something that disturbs you and you are not able to control it. So until unless you are not able to control your thoughts and everything, so for that period of time we can remove you from that place. right? So that is a manipulating social image. Suppose there is some person who is drug addicts and around or alcoholic, and around his house there is a lot of liquor shops. So what will happen? That will like create more problem because the person is dependent on the alcohol easily available. So we can say that we can replace that person from that place to some other place. So that can be done. That is a changes in environment. This is all about cognitive behavior therapy. So we have discussed like cognitive therapies. So we have discussed two therapies, that is rational emotive therapy and the cognitive therapy plus cognitive behavior therapy. That is what I explained, right?